Hey there my lovelies, and welcome to my booktube channel, The Sassy Library Fox. My name is V, and today we're doing something fun. Because it is Pride Month, I decided I would bring back my original tag, the LGBTQ Rep Book Tag. But, well, I think times changed after 2 years. The last time I did this tag, and when it was an original tag, I called it the LGBTQ Rep Book Tag. I think by now you can consider it the LGBTQIA Rep Book Tag. It's getting a lot of letters, but yeah, we're gonna add those two, and I'm probably going to make a new banner. I don't know. Well, anyway, let's do this. This is an original tag I created about when I started with my blog, I think 4 years ago or so, and 2 years ago I made my original tag video for this one. I'm gonna link it down below in the description box so that you can check it out. I talk a lot about why I decided to do this tag. Bottom line basically is there still needs to be more representation in books. It is Pride Month, it is the perfect tag for this month, and after 2 years, I've read so many different kinds of LGBTQIA+ books that I decided it would need a new version or that I would have to talk about new books for the prompt. Because as you all know, I read queer all year. So yeah. Anyway, without further ado, this tag is just really important, and I'm gonna tag a lot of people at the ending of this one. I'm not gonna mention everyone in the tags, but I want this tag to spread, so I guess we will see. Anyway, let's do this. There are 15 prompts, and I will try my best to get through them faster than the last time, and that it won't take as long as the first time I did this original tag. Please be with me. Okay, the first prompt is Female Strength, a book with a lesbian heroine. And I think I will go with She Drives Me Crazy by Kelly Quinlan here, because the two girls in this book were amazing. I loved Scotty, and Irene was awesome too. They both stood on their own. They both had their own opinions. They were great in their own way. Scotty was more the shy kind of type, but still very decisive and with high morals. And Irene was the more outgoing cheerleader kind of girl. It's a sports romance, so if you are into sport romances and in the enemies to lovers trope, this one will be great for you. And what I absolutely loved and adored about those two girls was that they were really headstrong, and that they knew what they wanted, and that they communicated so well. I loved the communication, and I loved the ending of the book. You rarely see this in young adult books, but I totally love that one. Okay, so that was the first prompt. The second one is Cinnamon Roll, a book with an adorable gay character. And I think, because I read it recently, I will go with The First to Die at the End by Adam Silvera. This book, oh god, quite honestly, both of the MCs were adorable characters and such cinnamon rolls. No matter if it was Valentino Prince or if it was Orion Pagan, they both were so, really, they were so sweet and kind and caring, and really, it was like two cinnamon rolls kind of fell in love together. I can't describe it any better. Of course, this is an Adam Silvera book, and of course, one has to die at the end. If you're familiar with this series, you know that there's always a death involved. So yeah, It has a kind of sad background, but it's also very hopeful. I think that's something really typical, unique Adam Silvera. You read a very sad book of him, and he writes such sad books and such sad stories, but in the end you're still kind of hopeful when you go out of the book. And I think that's some sort of feat not everyone can pull off. So yeah, the first to die at the end had definitely 2 cinnamon rolls in the book. Both MCs were great. Okay, prompt number 3. Boys and Girls, a book with a bi rep done right. And this is going to be one I read recently as well, Imogen Obviously by Becky Albertalli. I really liked the representation, the bi representation in this book. I loved the queer representation in general. It was done so well and it tackled a lot of serious topics you are confronted with when you are queer and in the community. So that was really amazing. And the both MCs, I think we even have, do we have 2 bi MCs? Yes, we do. Tessa is bi as far as I know, and Imogen is also bi, or discovers that she is bi. I'm not spoiling anything here because obviously Imogen is falling in love with a girl. So yeah, I think that bi rep was done really well, and also the challenges you have to face when you are bi and the prejudices from not only the people outside of the LGBTQ community but also inside of the LGBTQIA+ community. So yeah, highly recommend that one. I loved it. It was so cute and sweet and tackled a lot of serious topics. Prompt number 4. The Body and the Soul, a book with a transgender character. And I'm gonna go with The Sunbearer Trials by Aidan Thomas here. I just recently finished that one and it was great. I absolutely loved this book. We didn't just have Tio as the main MC of the book, who is trans masc, but we also have Xiu, who is also trans, but hasn't quite figured out in which kind of direction it will go. He's still trying to figure himself out and trying to find which kind of pronouns would fit him. So I love that those 2 were actually MCs of the book, and that we got so much trans representation in that one. And as for the plot was amazing as well. It's basically some sort of mixture of the Hunger Games meets meets mythology, because we have demigods that fight in a deadly trial and the loser gets sacrificed to Sol, the god of the sun, and the winner has to do the sacrificing. So yeah, there are high stakes. The challenges and trials were really suspenseful, and I totally loved how everything ended in this book. I'm so pumped for the second one. I think the second one is going to come out at the ending of this year. So I can't wait to get this into my grabby hands because it was just great. And yeah, the first one was pretty cliffhangery, so we're gonna see how it continues. Okay, prompt number 5. We're all queer. A queer rep you'd love to see more often in books. And I'm gonna take a sip here. There are so many queer representations I would love to see more of in books. I still want to see a book with a gender fluid character. I'm still holding out hope that one day I will find that one book that will just nail it. But no such luck yet. If you have any recommendations, please drop them down below. I would love to get recommendations like that. Also, I would love to see demisexual representation in books, ROA's representation. There are still not enough books that have the rep in them. And yeah, I'd also love to see pansexual representation because it's very rare as well. In some of the books, side characters are pansexual, but I haven't come across a book with an MC who is pan yet. So that would be lovely as well. If you have any of those recommendations, please drop them down below. I would really love to dive deeper into those representations and to have some books that, or to read some books that have it. Okay, prompt number 6, All About Pronouns, a book with a non-binary character. And I read 2 great books that both had non-binary characters in them. One of them was A Psalm for the Wild Build, because sibling Dex is non-binary and goes by they them pronouns. And this book is, if you haven't read that one yet, it's so wholesome and it's so nice. There doesn't happen a lot, but the robot and Dex, or Moscap as the robot is called, are getting in a conversation and start a conversation, and they are trying to figure out the differences between humans and robots and what divides them and what connects them. And it's a lovely book. It's such a lovely book, and if you want to read something really short and wholesome, you gotta read that one, seriously. And the other book I want to mention is What Moves the Dead by P. Kingfisher, and the MC is Alex. I think Alex is the name of the MC. Is Alex the name of the MC? I hope it is. But they are non-binary as well, so yeah, I love this one. It's also a short one with a non-binary MC, and it is in the genre of horror. It's based on the Fall of the House of Usher by Edgar Allan Poe, and yeah, it was great. I really loved that one. But also, what I really liked about that one was that it wasn't just horror, but it was also kind of funny. Kingfisher has a very particular brand of humor, and I love that. So yeah, this was great. Highly recommend both of those books. Okay, question number 7. A romantic ace, a character that belongs to the ROA spectrum. And by now, I finally read Loveless by Alice Oseman, and I absolutely loved this book. It was so great to see how the MC discovered that she is ROAs, and there was such a lovely friend group of a lot of other queer people, and the found family trope was nice in that one as well. But quite honestly, I loved Georgia the MC. It was really great to see her figure out herself and her journey. But also, there was a side character I just loved, and the side character was named Sunil, and Sunil, they were amazing. Sunil was amazing. Seriously, I loved Sunil. Sunil was just a vibe. I don't know, it was perfect. I honestly, I wish I could get a book about Sunil. So yeah. So much for that. We are heading to prompt number 8. One Big Family, a book that features lots of different LGBTQIA+ representations. And I think I will go with The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers here. I hope I said it correctly. It's such a long name. Because there weren't that many queer characters in the book, but there were a lot of diverse characters in the book, and some of them were queer, so I decided to take it for this prompt because we have a lot of different alien species and humans, and a lot of interactions between all those different kind of aliens. And we also have an FF relationship, and one part of the crew is non-binary because they have two brains and are an alien species with two brains. I think I remember it like this. So there was a lot of diversity and also queer rep, and it was really, Becky Chambers is such a great writer. Honestly, if you want to read something wholesome, I can totally recommend all Becky Chambers books I've read so far. They're all great. So I will go with that one. Let me take another sip before I go to prompt number 9. Sapphic Love, your favorite FF couple. And I think I will go with She Gets the Girl here by Rachel Lippincott and Alison Derrick. As far as I know, both authors are together in the couple and they wrote that book. So that's great. And She Gets the Girl was really one of the great romances I read, I think last year. Because we have Molly and we have Alex, and Molly and Alex have very different kind of challenges. Molly is always playing it safe, Alex is kind of the bad girl. And they meet at the party where Alex is sitting on Molly's longtime crush. So Alex notices that and offers Molly to help her get the girl. And Molly is trying to help Alex get her ex-girlfriend back. So they both have something from that pact, or get out something of that pact. And in the end, they kind of fall in love with each other while they are trying to land with their crushes. So I really liked that. It had a couple of serious topics as well, but it was really a nice and lovely story, and I loved those two. Those two were great together. They brought out the best in each other. Let's put it that way. Good, let's head to number 10, Boys Love, your MMOTP. And okay, it's always a tie. It's still a tie between either Ronan Lynch and Adam Parrish from The Raven Cycle, or Andrew and Neil from All for the Game. And quite honestly, I can't decide, but at the moment, I'm kind of leaning more in the direction of Andrea, because I've read so many fanfictions and I'm still caught in the All for the Game brain rot. I don't know if I will ever get away from this series, but this series has been living in my mind rent-free ever since I read it, and I just can't let it go. The fact that the Sunshine Court was just released doesn't help, because it just kind of made my obsession burn brighter once again. So I think I'm going with Andrew and Neil here, because those two, I don't know what it is about them, but I love them so much. I just can't get away from them. They are living in my mind rent-free, and they will probably until the day I die. So yeah, favorite OTP. Okay, let's head to question number 11. Sidekick, your favorite LGBTQ plus side character. And I think I will go with Nico D'Angelo here from Rick Riordan's series. I think Nico D'Angelo is in the Heroes of Olympus, as well as in the original Percy Jackson series. He is always a side character in those series, and I think last year it was, he got his own book with Will, and it's The Sun and the Star. So I love to hear that they are finally getting their own book, because I've been dying to see Nico as a main character, and I honestly can't wait to dive into that one, but I will have to finish the Trials of Apollo first. And I think I'm at book 3 now. I need to read book 3. So yeah, once I'm through the series, I'm still gonna pick up The Sun and the Star, because Nico D'Angelo is definitely one of my favorite side characters ever. I love it when sometimes side characters become main characters. Okay, back to the prompts. Question number 12. Stealing the Show, an LGBTQIA+ side character couple that rocks your socks. And I initially wrote down Kieran, Mark, and Christina from The Dark Artificious here, because I love that this is a polyamorous relationship, and they are really rare in books, and when they are in books they aren't that well done, but with this one it was amazing. I love those three so much, and at the ending of the series, I honestly was more invested in what would happen with this love triangle than I was invested in what would happen with Julian and Emma. So they definitely stole the show. And because I recently read it and finished it, I gotta mention I Kissed Sarah Wheeler by Casey McQuiston here, because even though we were following the MC and Sarah's journey, I was way more invested in the relationship, or the developing relationship, of the side characters Smith and Rory, because I got certain vibes. And I mean, Chloe's and Sarah's story was interesting as well, but what really had me invested was what was going on between Smith and Rory. So those two definitely stole the show, and I was way more invested in them than I was invested in finding out what was going to happen with Chloe and Sarah. So yeah, they definitely stole the show, and quite honestly, Smith and Rory were so adorable. They were so cute. How could you not be more interested in those two? Anyway, let's see to prompt number 13. And prompt number 13 is Strong Beliefs, an LGBTQIA+ book that deals with religion. And because I've finally read it and I loved it, I'm gonna say Hell Followed With Us by Andrew Joseph White. This book was amazing. I mean, we basically have Benji, a trans mask MC who escaped his mother's cult that kind of brought down the end of the world, and they are living after the end of the world, and Benji escapes his mom and finds shelter in an LGBTQIA+ center with Nick, the leader of the people there, and a lot of other queer people. I loved all the representations in this book. It was amazing. You really, since this was playing at an LGBTQIA+ center, you really have everything the rainbow is able to provide, and I loved it. I loved it so much. But also the acceptance of the people there. They didn't question, second guess, or I don't know, they just asked for pronouns and took it from there. I love that. I really love that. I wish it would be that easy in real life. And yeah, Nick is autistic, so we have an autistic representation as well. And as for the religious aspect was done so well. It was shown how growing up religious can become quite challenging for a queer teen. And well, in that case, it literally brought down the end of the world. So yeah, we have a very high religious aspect in that book, and I really liked it. If you want to read a book about queer rage, this is the perfect book for you. But be warned, there are a lot of gory scenes and parts, so it might not be for everyone. Okay, prompt number 14. Rainbows Everywhere. A book with an unapologetic cover. And this time around, I will go with Felix Ever After by Case and Calendar, because that cover is so beautiful. I love the flowers and the orange tones and notes of that book cover. But what I really love the most is that you can see Felix in all of his trans glory. You can even see his scars from his top surgery. And I think that cover is so unapologetic and amazing and really perfect. It's the perfect queer cover for a book. Okay, last question. Question number 15. Future generations, your most anticipated LGBTQ plus release. And well, I think I'm gonna say The Sunshine Court by Nora Sakevich, because I've been dying to read this book ever since I found out that it's going to be released. I still didn't get a chance to read it because I've been really busy those last couple of months, which shows in the little or really not a lot books I read those last 2 months. But I definitely want to read this, and I put it on my June to be read. So I'm so going for Jeremy's and Sean's story, and no one can stop me. I'm gonna read that in June. I know it, because I've been dying to read more of the All for the Game series. And Sean's story and Jeremy's story was something I wanted to read ever since I finished the All for the Game books. It's just something that's in the back of your mind, and you wonder how that character was doing with everything that happened in that series. And since Sean was just a side character, we never got answers for how his life was and what he went through when he was at the Raven's Nest. So I love that there's a book about him now. I heard that it's really hard and tough to read, but I'm still gonna read it because I've waited for it for ages. Okay, so this was the last question of my original tag, and now I'm just gonna mention a couple of booktubers I'm going to tag for this one, and I'm probably also going to tag the ones that I tagged the first time around but still didn't do it. If you got tagged the first time around and you did it, that's great. But if you didn't, consider yourself reminded that this tag exists and that you might want to do it. I'm trying to get this up at the beginning of June so that you can still do this tag in June while it's Pride Month. I think the last time this kept a lot of people from doing the tag because I got it up near the ending of June, and then yeah, not everyone reads queer all year like I do, so I get it. Anyway, regardless of that, I'm gonna tag Jem at The Creepy Geek, Ash at Books to Ashes, Katja at Page Turns with Katja, Ellie at Bibbidi Bobbidi Books, Alice at Alice and the Giant Bookshelf, Jay at My Quarter-Life Crisis, Rosika at The Midnight Reader, Becky at Teacup the Storyteller, Victoria at The Musical Bookworm, Paige at Pages with Paige, Kevy at Se Kevy, and Pia at Mama Needs to Read Romance, and a lot of other people I'm not gonna mention here because the video would be too long. So I want to spread that video into the world. I would love to see more people do this tag. I would love to watch your video. If you do this tag, please make sure to tag me so that I know you did it and that I can see all your answers. And it's just a tag that's close to my heart, and I decided I would revive it this year. I didn't do it last year, but this year I decided I would revive it because it needs to get out into the world. And I think it's always good to use Pride Month for this and to make people aware that there are queer books out there. So yeah. And also, if you're watching this video, I want to say a huge thank you for everyone who recently subscribed, for everyone who's been here from the very beginning. I don't say that often enough in my videos, but I'm very grateful for everyone who subscribed to my channel. And you guys keep me going. You're the reason I still get up videos. And I hope that at least one or two of you are actually waiting for them to go up and want to hear what I have to say about books. So yeah, even if I'm doing this for just two people is enough. I just wanted to throw that out into the world. I wanted to say thank you for sticking around with me and for watching my videos. And if you want to do this tag and I didn't tag you, consider yourself tagged. And also, if you have read some of the books I read, please let me know what you thought about them, if you liked them or if you didn't, if they are on your to-be read. If you have any recommendations for me that would fit the prompts, I would love to hear them. Just write them down in the comments below. And yeah, I guess we're already at the ending of my video and there's nothing left to say except of take care, stay healthy and safe, and see you around the next time. Bye!